Today we're going to unload my first kiln load. So the kiln that I've got is a little 14 litre Olympic. It's from the Medallion Artist series. It's a baby kiln, total baby kiln. It's really cute though. For the last 2.5 years for me to get my work fired, I've been going to, artist studios where they fire your work and they charge you by the kilos. There's other risks like when you pack up the car with all your work and drive, across the city. One, it takes ages, you're using petrol. And two, you could damage your work along the way. Since I've been in lockdown, one of the things that I've found really, really frustrating is that I haven't been able to get any work fired, and it means all I can do is pretty much make stuff out of clay and I can't see it finished. And that is something that I've found really frustrating. One of the benefits I think is that one, I now have got a bit more control over what's happening with my firing, which is really good. Two, it means that I don't have to drive everywhere to get my work fired, which is awesome. Three, I think it's going to be a bit more cost effective for me in terms of not paying, because when you pay to get your work fired somewhere else, you're also paying for the labour of that person to stack the kiln, and any overhead costs, that they have, they'll have to pay their rent and all of that stuff, tax, all of that. So it's usually a bit of a tradition for ceramicists to name their kilns. I decided to name mine Coop from Twin Peaks. And another tradition that ceramicists have is they have these things called a kiln god or kiln goddesses that sit on top of the kiln and they are there to protect it. So I've been making these kiln goddesses recently with this as the purpose, is why I started making them. And they have a pot on their head instead of a face. I thought they were pretty cool. So I've been making these kiln goddesses. I don't know if you can see them. Just sit on top of my kiln. And this one is going to be Diane. So she'll sit on top of Coop while he is firing my work. At the moment, I'm just feeling, kind of really excited to share this. This video probably will be more of a way to me to document how I'm going with my kiln, looking back on it in a few years' time. But I thought I would share it with you because I know that there will be some people out there that, might be getting their first kiln, and it's just good to watch other people's process and, the learning that they go through. I know for my going through YouTube all week trying to find videos of baby kilns and people loading them and unloading them, just because I've been really excited. So yeah, I guess that's the purpose of this video. So here is me applying a few layers of kiln wash. I applied it really thin because I didn't want it to be too chunky. But I think next time I will go a bit thicker with the mixture. And then this is me loading the kiln. So I actually did this twice. I loaded it the first time and then I had to go back through and reload it because I wasn't happy with the placement of the posts. So pretty much for a glazed kiln, you've got to make sure nothing's touching. The little black thing on the edge of my kiln there is the thermocouple. So nothing can be too close to that. That's what reads the temperature inside the kiln. And then I'm just loading a few things. I was able to fit about 11 things in this firing, but I think I'll be able to fit in more as I go along, just by the time I get used to using the posts and where everything can fit to utilize the most amount of space. I closed the kiln lid and then I turned it on. I did a cone 9 firing. It fired until later that day and then spent about 12 hours cooling down. I couldn't sleep last night because I couldn't stop thinking about if there was going to be problems when I opened it up. And then we went in this morning and opened it up. It was at 52 degrees still, so we didn't touch anything. It was still pretty hot, degrees Celsius. All right, I'm really nervous. Oh, it's fine. They're still really hot though. It worked! I did have a little peek this morning because I was just too excited. So they're still quite warm, so I don't think I'm going to put them on a cold surface when I take them out. We've got a little soap dish. Another little soap dish in plaid. We've got a couple more soap dishes here. So this one's got like a white speckle underglaze and then a pink underglaze on top. This is the first time I've tried this, so I can see here that this was 2 coats. I think I didn't go over that twice looking at it. And this one, this one actually broke because I did a really crappy job of joining this together. So I thought I would just fire it for myself so I could have, you know, I never seem to make my own stuff. So I thought I'd just keep the soap dish myself. And I've just stuck that back together with glaze. So that's just glazed together. So it still will work perfectly fine. We've got a pink and red little vase. Pink and red, hand built. A lot of plaid in this one. I hadn't seen these ones for ages, so it's nice to see what they actually look like. Plaid. This one's wheel thrown. We've got one more little soap dish in pink. And I'm really happy with how it's gone today. I wasn't sure because I thought that this would be a bit too quick. Archie, watch out, sweetie. All right, now we've got the tumblers. Ooh. Ooh. Interesting. I think that this will be from heating up too fast. It doesn't appear to have gone all the way through, which is a bit strange. So we got one crack. Let's see if they're all cracked. This one's fine. Pink and orange baby. This one's fine. Probably could you have used another coat of yellow, I reckon. No crack. That's interesting. So I wonder what's happened with this one here. I mean, it could have been something in the bisque firing as well, unless I've like donked it into something when I was making it. So that's our first casualty, which is pretty good out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pieces so far. Another pink and orange. No cracks. That's good. And last one. No cracks. Perfection. And looks like there's not been any blistering or anything either, which is awesome. How good is that? Okay, reflection time. When I loaded this kiln, it was the first one, and I figured there probably would be some issues, likely. Major casualty that I had was this one here. And you can see there's like a nice decent size crack in the side. Apart from that crack, this is actually a really cool cut. So I've done like pink and then like plaid behind. And then I've started doing like little paintings on underneath the foot ring of my cups because I think it looks cool. Another thing that I noticed too, look, I've made these so long ago now, like in May. And one thing that I noticed, so like this was that vase that came out, which is awesome. I love it. I love the pink and red, so I'm gonna do some more pink and red together. But one thing that I noticed, I don't know if you can see the difference, is I've used 2 different clays. And then this one here is like that's another clay too. They're not the same. This is much whiter. So I think for me, I need to stick to the whiter clays to get those pops of color. But this is like a little, I actually painted this one a totally different color and then didn't like it, so I washed it all off. Glaze and everything, washed it all off just so I could see, so I could redo it. So like this one looks pretty cool. Pretty happy with this one. Pretty happy with these. Yeah. Overall, I was expecting to open the kiln this morning and have like bubbles and blisters all over my work or like stuff stuck to the shelf. So like, you know, I'm happy that none of that happened and everything's looking pretty good. Not as scary as I thought it would be. That's all for today. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you next time.